boy.
All right, so we got our last guest of the day, Brett Liming from University of Cincinnati Dodgeball Club. Also our October 2019 Baller of the Month. And we're just going to have him talk a little bit about the ODC, get his thoughts on the events, how Cincinnati did, and what's next for the team. So, like I said, in that order, give me your overall thoughts on the Ohio Dodgeball Cup.
Overall, it was a very exciting tournament. I thought that there was a lot of things that went unexpected, and a lot of things that definitely were expected. For example, in my opinion, I didn't think OSU was going to make it to the championship game. Mm-hmm. I knew because we started our day playing OSU and we knew it was going to be a tough matchup. I knew that most likely OSU was going to come out on top, and we knew they were going to play Miami. I knew that the last time Miami and OSU played, they went to overtime. Actually, the past two times they went to overtime, and Miami and OSU have now split the games. Overtime for Miami and OSU was a nail biter the entire time. We just finished our last game against Kent State at the time, and we just heard that OSU and Miami were in overtime, so we went over there to watch, and the entire time it was back and forth, and then eventually it got down to Dom on Miami versus Palumbo and someone else on OSU, and it was just back and forth. OSU had a big balls over to Miami, and so Dom got a couple free shots, and then eventually there was another balls over that gave OSU all the balls that resulted in a team throw where Dom was able to dodge one and then eventually got hit by the other. So overall, the matches that I saw were all insane. And then on the other side of the bracket, we lost to OSU, then BG lost to Akron. Sorry. Akron lost
to BG.
Yeah, my bad. Was it 4-1, 4-0? It was
4-0.
It was 4-0, yeah. So that to me was a big surprise because Akron going into this tournament, they were missing a couple people from what I heard at the Bearcat Bonanza, and going into this, we knew that we were likely to play either Akron or BG, depending on how things went, because Akron was able to beat BG. So we assumed that it was a toss-up between that. Again, from what I heard, because we were playing OSU at the same time, Akron wasn't playing their very best game. They were lackadaisical off the rush, only getting 3, maybe 4 balls off the rush, leading Jacob Weber he came up to us and said he twisted his ankle in the middle of the game because he was forced to run for a middle ball to try to fight to get ball control off of the rush. And so essentially things weren't going Akron's way. Jacob said that they were just playing lackadaisical, weren't playing their game plan that they had. So one thing led to another, and BG came out on top there. So for OU's first game of the day, they played BG right after BG played Akron. Wait a minute. Is that right? No. Ohio played BG after a one break, and so UC ended up reffing, and it was a closer matchup in the beginning. I think either OU got up 2-0 and then BG brought it back in the second half, and I thought they were going to come back and fight hard. they came back strong in the second half for sure, but then eventually were worn out by OU's dominant offense.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Um, so probably wanting to know about the big championship match, right?
Sure. Why not?
So in the beginning, you could definitely tell that during the first point, it was definitely OU was in control. That
Mm-hmm.
point took 6 minutes for them to get the first point. At this point, we were like, this isn't looking very good for OSU. Uh, like, so I was just hoping OSU would come back and fight hard. And they came back and ended up getting their first point within like 4 minutes. So
Mm-hmm.
it was the first 2 points were really really quick. So Colby and I were on the sideline reffing, and we're like, this might be like a 4-3, 4-4 game at the end of regulation if things keep going at this pace. But eventually it did slow down, and if I'm not mistaken, OU ends up getting a point with 4:15 left or something like that in the first half. It was a very back and forth point, but overall, you could tell OU was in control for that point.
Mm-hmm.
Then then they go into halftime 2-1, and then
Mm-hmm.
after halftime, I'm not sure who gets the first point. I want to say it was OSU. I'm pretty sure OSU gets the first point of the second half because they're very strong in the second half, and they came out with a lot of aggression, and I'm pretty sure they hit two people off of the rush to start the half, and so that immediately gave them a man advantage, and they were able to get one of those balls back off of the rush, giving them I think 6 balls, 6-4. So they got ball control and they just took over for that point. It was a decently long point. I want to say 7 or 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it was tied 2-2 at this point. Then then we get to the so we're at about 17, 16, 17 minutes in the half. And so OU comes out very strong, and they 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 were wasted a little bit of time, but they were playing very strong and aggressive, and eventually got their third point, and then there was like 6 or 7 minutes left. There's a lot of in this 6 and 7 minutes there was a lot of stuff happening. So
Mm-hmm.
OSU and OU already have called one of their timeouts. Then it goes into so let me think how quick stuff happened. So
Okay.
it happened really really fast. So it was like 6 minutes left. OSU knew they needed to go quick, and I think they ended up hitting one person off of the rush, and then someone threw a catch, and so that person was back in for OU. It was I want to say with they were playing very aggressive when they didn't need to at times, as far as trying to not waste the clock and just trying to play how they always play.
Mm-hmm.
And I am mistaken. OSU did have two timeouts going into this point. So
Okay.
um, OSU called a timeout after things got. I, I'm not too. So
You're good, man.
it all gets boggled up. But they end up calling a timeout, I think, early in the point, or not early in the point, middle of the point to discuss what they need to do. So at this point, OSU took down I think it was 6v10 at this point. So they were OU's close to their 10 count, and OSU gets them down to a 10 count at least once, and
Mm-hmm.
they get them down for the first time. They throw a catch, so OU catches one, and they get back up to 15. And this is with like a minute 30, minute 40 left. And quickly after that, they end up getting 2 hits, and then OU throws a catch. So they're down to 3 players. Then I don't know what happened. I know Noah got hit, um, and someone else either threw a catch or got hit. And then next thing you know, there's 20 seconds left, and there's one person left on OU's team versus I want to say 6 or 7 OSU players. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, OSU only has 2 balls.
Yep.
So what happens at this point is it was either it was an official timeout because we were discussing whether someone got hit, whether Noah got hit or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so both sides are backed up. There's 20 seconds left. It's 0 shot clocks. And so I want to say it was for OSU, the people who had the ball was Palumbo, and because at this point, Dylan and Ben, OSU's captains, are both out. And I know Palumbo had a ball, and then I don't know the other guy's name. And so with 20 seconds left, OSU charges the front line. One person suicides and hits him, but Noah called a timeout just before they went to throw.
Uh-huh.
So that's what's so 4 seconds ran off the clock, and there. So then we go back. So OSU has 2 balls. OU has 8 balls. They have to make a throw within 6 seconds in order for them to be good. So they have to make 2 throws essentially within the time, and OSU has to try to get one out. And basically, it looked like they changed up their game plan from going for the suicide right off the bat. So they went ahead and teamed through, and then they had 1 ball left, and he went for the suicide and just missed left of him,
Mm.
and that was game. So it was a very
Dang.
up and down match. Like at any point, either team could have caught right back into it. There is one point that I think there was total of 6 or 7 catches on each side combined. So everyone was catching, but there's still a ton of outs, and it was just a crazy matchup for a championship. It was a great championship matchup for sure.
Mm-hmm. Definitely sounds like it. Kind of switching gears a little bit to make you feel a little bit more selfish and talking about your team. You guys went 2-1 on the day. You mentioned games against Ohio State, Akron, and Kent. Talk about what went well for you guys.
Okay, so first off, I'm going to preface with the score for OSU's game really doesn't tell how it actually went.
Mm-hmm.
UC was in every point, but we got them down to a 10 count. I know at least 2 of those points. So
Mm-hmm.
we were in every point. There was no point where we were out of it. But the thing is with OSU that they do extremely well is they see like we're getting high up in our shot clock and we're gonna have to make a crucial throw. We're gonna throw long, and then they always look for those long throws, and they will drop their balls instantly and catch them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
with a young team, we talked about it in our film session that they were going to do this, but with our young team, kids make mistakes. We got a bunch of freshmen and sophomores on the team. We're going to make mistakes. There was some points where we were in it. We were up 7-5 or something like that, 8-5, and we throw 2 catches, and next thing you know, we're on a 10 count. and they have 7 guys, and their team they have 6 or 7 balls, and their team throwing on us. So that with OSU, it was a very good learning experience for us as far as we knew what we needed to do. We did a decent job working on it. We just needed to go back and perfect those minor mistakes that did end up costing us. But with a young team, what can you expect? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that was our 1 year, like I guess, anniversary as being an official NCDA team. We went into the tournament last year with 10 players. We went to nationals with 8 players last year. We go into ODC this year with a total of 18 players. So a full roster going into it. I cannot complain. It's definitely a
Mm-hmm.
lot better than having 8 or 10 players on the court. Um, but overall, against OSU, I think we played pretty well. But by the time we're down 3-0, we're kind of distraught. We're looking down, but
Mm-hmm.
we did our best. We played very well for our young club, and I couldn't be prouder. OSU ended up going to the championship match, so like they're clearly not a team to be taken lightly. So I'm very proud on how we performed. Then UC versus Akron. Akron came out strong in the first half, and we really weren't executing our game plan strategy. Like I said, Jacob Weber ended up twisting his ankle against BGSU,
Mm-hmm.
and that we knew that going into this game, and we for some reason decided to not ignore him because he wasn't very mobile this match, and he just kind of sat in his corner, and he wasn't in charge of throwing because he couldn't really move up as quick as he could. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we were just making in the first half. We were making very dumb plays. We were playing very selfish dodgeball, and we really weren't communicating as a team. We were very lackluster on our communication and team throwing, and we were lost ball control very quickly in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, we they were up 2-0, and I think there was 8 minutes left, and we end up going to get the. So 8 minutes left. We come off very strong, and we end up getting them down to one player with a little less than 4 minutes left, and they call a timeout, and they put Jacob Weber in because he ended up sitting the point to get some water or
Mm-hmm.
Gatorade and rest because he was injured, and we absolutely um, crap the bed in the nicest way to say it.
I'm
So
sure your coach would say other words.
yes, very much so. And we we came out very too aggressive. We were trying to push our tempo for some reason with only one player on the court, and we're trying to play very quick and solo throw
Mm-hmm.
at Jacob Weber, which anyone in this league should know that you should not solo throw at Jacob Weber.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, saying that, we ended up not getting a point in the first half, but we took our game plan that we developed in that last point, or not last point, the last match or point game, whatever, that ended up
Mm-hmm.
not resulting in a point. And we took that into the second half, and we absolutely executed it flawlessly. Um, at one point, I mean, we played very well our second half. We were a lot more. I don't want to say that we had like jitters or we were overconfident. It felt like it was both. Like we were overconfident because we beat them 5-2 at OU, but we had jitters because that we were down 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
So we came out very strong. We figured out what we actually needed to do, and we executed it very well. Um, we ended up taking 2 relatively easy points, and then ended up getting our final point against them with I want to say like a minute left in the game. So ended up beating them in regulation, very clutch. But the biggest thing I want to shout out is we had 2 freshmen that this was their second tournaments. Uh, if only I could remember their names. Um,
Wow, forgetting your own teammates' names.
Jacob Barrett and Matt Ski. Um, they they um, they have very very good arms. One is also playing club baseball, and he is skipping a tournament for us to go play at War. So, at a kid, and so
All right.
Love to see it.
yeah, and we are. I they throw hard. He plays club baseball and he's a catcher and he's developing really really fast. They're both developing really really fast, and I'd say to watch out for them, and if you play us in our next couple of tournaments. Um,
Mhm.
um, then our last match against Kent, we went into it rather lackadaisical, giving up the first point. I think one person on Kent's team, I don't know his name. It wasn't Tokes and it wasn't Riley. He had an assistant captain shirt on. I don't know his name. His number
Was it
11.
Nathan Lewis?
It might be. He had 5 or 6 catches in the first point and absolutely dominated the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I was just baffled by it. He caught me and Brandon right off the rip, and he never looked back and caught 4 more of our team. So we really weren't in that point at all. We had one freshman who made 2 or 3 clutch catches to try to keep us in that point. That point lasted like I want to say 11 minutes. It was a long point, and then eventually, so we ended up losing that point. But then we came back strong. Then we talked and we're like, we got to stick to our strategy. We made a bunch of stupid mistakes. Why are we throwing long crosses for no reason? And eventually we came back and we ended up taking 4 straight points against them, 1 in the first half and 3 in the second half. So overall, I'm very proud of our team. I have to say that was our first win in the 3rd game of the day, so we're breaking that streak. So just watch out.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So I want to make sure that you get a good night's sleep. So I'll ask this last. What's next for UC Dodgeball the rest of the semester?
Our goal is we're gonna go to War at Akron in 2 weeks, and then I think we are actually gonna go to BGSU 2 weeks after that instead of West Virginia due to we wanted to go to West Virginia, but I think due to funds and our team having a 6-hour drive, I don't think it's very beneficial for us to get back that late on a Sunday when everyone has school and a couple of us have co-ops to go to in the next morning. So I think it's better for us to play Saturday instead of Sunday. We'd really like to go to West Virginia, but it's just not very reasonable for us in our current status. And then, of course, we are going to go to nationals.
All right.
So we're looking to keep moving up. We've moved up the past 2 tournaments. We're looking to continue moving up and we're definitely making people look at us like we're not that team we were last year with only 8 kids. And we're definitely moving up from here. So
awesome stuff, man. Well, it's great to hear from you, Brett, and best of luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right. See you, man.
Adios. Did I ramble too long?
Nah, you're good, dog.
Okay. Just making sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. There's a leave room button in the bottom right. Just hit that.
No,
you're good.
I just want to stare at your 2 pretty faces for like an hour.
Oh, my Lord Jesus.
I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks again.
Yep.
Yeah.
See you, Brett. That about does it.
Yeah. I think we can go home, get some rest, and
I gotta find the bathroom in here, man. This is a complicated library. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, it's Okay. So it's downstairs on the first floor. Just ask people at the front desk. You're gonna be fine.
All right.
You can make it.
All right. In this thing.
Yeah.